Alright, we are live. I just have a few minor things to check on. I have no idea what this is for. I thought it was like an equipable servo skull like the ones you get in game, but no. Just makes noise. What is that for? I gotta look this up. What is it called? Valiant Commissar Skull. What is that? Because it's flagged as a quest item, and I wonder if that's like a thing I get to like hand in somewhere. Yeah, no. It is, as far as I can find, just a thing that makes a noise when you click on it. That is the weirdest shit. Okay. What in the hell? Well, that's those things that I just found. Such an incredible purpose. Mentioned something about the guy. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, okay. Ancient implantation. Okay, well, nobody's here yet, but since this is recording, that means I will go ahead and let's talk to Sister Urgent.
rogue trader.
Sister Argenta looks tired. There are dark circles under her eyes and her hair is somewhat disheveled, and she moves like she's a little on edge. You said you had a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, rogue trader. The accursed servants of Chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valancia's territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the rogue trader could meet with the orphans?
What good would meeting them do?
These children are the future of your crew, and one day, they too will have to stand against evil and heresy as their parents did. By meeting them, by speaking the right words to them, you will honor the memory of the fallen heroes and light the way to heroes in the making. They will always remember the day they met the rogue trader. Besides, it will bolster the orphans' spirits, help them recover from their loss, which can be hard for someone so young.
I will meet with them. No formalities needed. These are the children of people who gave their lives for the Von Valancia's dynasty. My consideration is the least of it deserve.
I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
The motley group of adolescents gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Our indefatigable sister has been keeping an eye on these folks. Adler glances at gathered children. It is hardly the scholar Virginian in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction. Argenta is standing to the side of the group. At your approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of this ship has appeared before you, the one who guides it through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Greet your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House Von Valancius. You notice Infernus Master Heinrich Montag, standing a few paces away from the orphans. He watches you with approval and bows respectfully when you meet his gaze. Infernus Master, do you serve as a teacher in your spare time? Not at all, your ladyship. I'm just looking out for them. It's the Infernus way to help folks in trouble. It's our job, after all. So we chip in rations here and there and make sure nobody gives them a hard time. We take the older ones into the clan's care if they want. Many in the guild are not our family by blood, but by circumstance. Your Lord Captain greets you, brave ones. The teenagers keep staring at you. A girl who has remained close to Argenta smiles uncertainly. A skinny, pale lad tries to throw his shoulders back and stand at attention like a soldier. Only a few teenagers at the far end of the row seem sullen and not particularly impressed. One of the scowling visitors with a thin scar across his face tosses his head back and says bitterly, So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in their dozens for you, noble lot, and you just give us speeches. Argenta quickly turns to the floor. A flurry of emotions flashes in her dark eyes, like she wants to both call him and scold him for his impudence. have something to say, say it without fear. I will listen. It doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back. And it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on this ship until we drop and die like our folks. Or worse. I understand your grief and dismay. Your parents died. It's not an easy thing to go through. But they gave their lives for the truth, for the good of the whole ship, for the Imperium. Do not speak of their honorable fate with anger and disdain. You heard the rogue trader. Her words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with Von Valancius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the Seneschal came prepared for any contingency. Never really liked this scene. Oh, sorry. Argenta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the bay. The trouble with that scene, I get what they're trying to do with it, but it's not super well implemented. So kind of the outcomes are a little confusing, and the dialogue choices as well can sort of end it prematurely without really intentionally doing that. And the fact that it then affects like Argenta's path like 4 chapters away is a little bit of an odd choice. The implantation throne is majestic in its antiquity. Let's start that again. The implantation throne is majestic in its antiquity. The metal bench, surrounded by countless injectors, manipulators, and vid screens, leaves no doubt as to its purpose. The very nature of this machine is designed to transform living bodies by fusing them with blessed iron. Even to the naked eye, it is clear that the machine is alien, grievously so. The manipulator's segmented tubes hang limply, bleeding undulating, while the dusty lumens are only dimly illuminated. As the tech priests try to revive the relic, each swing of their sensor is like a pendulum ticking down the moments until the throne's untimely demise. Your Ladyship, thank you for gracing the sect of Ionica with your presence. You are already acquainted with Drive Master Zira Kamar. It is she who has been tending to the ancient relic. She is here to convey the wretchedness of our present position. The tech priest slowly extends her mechadendrites, twisting them in intricate gesture and breathing. Lord Captain, the blessed machine spirit that dwells within the throne is fading. I and many grieving tech priests have been performing unending sacraments of tech healings and prayers of operational benediction on this shrine, but even our devotions are merely staving off the inevitable. The throne is a creation of the Omnissiah, made centuries ago. Even before the unholy desecration of the relic, we were barely able to propitiate its ancient machine spirit to perform sacred augmentation procedures. Many litanies and operating protocols did not survive through the ages. Now, with the demise of the keepers of the implantation throne during the mutiny, they have been lost forever. This sacred machine must be saved at all costs. What makes this machine so important? It is unique, one of a kind. The tech priest's optical augments flash, and surprising fervor creeps into her voice. In the largest annals of the Adeptus Mechanicus, this throne is identified as a shrine capable of autonomous augmentation rituals. Its loss is unacceptable, and any condoning of it is sacrilege. In addition, only the rogue trader and persons authorized by the rogue trader may use it. It is an invaluable investment in your longevity and bodily integrity. Well, it's damaged. During the uprising instigated by the rebellious master of Whispers, the sector of Iconiclast was besieged. The Genitors and Medicaid officers heroically defended the throne, but eventually the rebels broke through. Most of the defenders fell in battle, and many machines were lost and damaged. Many were able to be restored, but the throne was particularly badly damaged. What sacraments can the throne perform? The shrine is capable of autonomously healing flesh and blessing it with augmentations under the supervision of a knowledgeable genitor. Complex procedures can be performed with unimaginable speed and precision, and stimulants administered in the required proportions and combinations. It is a true miracle of the Messiah. How do we save the throne? Only a servant of the machine god endowed with the high rank of Janitor Extremis, versed in all the necessary rituals and learned in the mystical currents of the motive force, can perform the reparative sacraments and reanimate this mechanism. The only place where one might find such a servant is in the cloistered station of Altar Templum Calixis et 17. To the best of my knowledge, the cloister Mistress Solara is referring to is located in the protaganist system. Its denizens are not well disposed to communicating with the laity, but I am willing to leverage every diplomatic connection I possess to gain an audience with the station's clergy. In that case, time is of the essence. The Drive Master's Vox Grill emits a Benaric aria of thanks. I thank you for your favor, Ladyship. Before you depart the Sector Bionica, I would also like to present to you Genitor Majoris Ferenz and Vivisector J.S. Martinax. They are currently performing an urgent procedure and therefore were unable to attend the inspection in person, but I am certain they will receive the rogue trader's visit as a great honor. If you will follow me. The smell of medical supplies and weak cries of pain fill the cold air. Two figures stand over an operating table. The patient lying upon it is bound in place, and his head is soaked in blood. A woman in uniform is desperately trying to force her way to the table. Please, help my son. In the name of the Golden Throne, I know you can. Melchick has endured so much. The lined face of the Nordeck veteran is contorted with grief. Every word she speaks comes out in a long moan. Loading ship. The Medicaid officer dressed in protective attire briefly looked away from the table to welcome you with a solemn address. Vivisector J. Martinez, at your service. The road trader's business is among a momentous event for the sector Bionica. Will you grant us the honor of observing the operation? The hunched tech priest on the opposite side of the table erupts in a furious, Denaric trill as he struggles to immobilize the thrashing and moaning patient. After a time, he likewise turns his metal-plated face to you. The uniformed Genitor Majoris Varanz welcomes Lord Captain Carlyn True von Valencius. I second my colleague's statement. With each of his many ocular implants focused closely on the patient, Genitor Ferenz is rooting around inside the man's open skull with a thin, sharp, probe-like instrument. Meanwhile, Chirurgeon Martinax's hands, clad in blood-stained gloves, are holding an injector of yellowish solution, which he administers into the patient's brain matter at regular intervals. The man chained to the bed is missing the top part of his skull. The moist pink contents glisten in the lumen light. The patient is conscious. His eyes are open and his parched lips are constantly moving as he mumbles. The man's terrified gaze meets yours and he falls silent. How curious. It seems the road trader's presence is indeed influencing the patient's state of mind. Whether it is a manifestation of devout faith in his anointed, or a bizarre form of delusion, it can only be to our benefit. Whatever you are doing, your ladyship, please continue. With the patient? For a moment, you think there is a flicker of vivid emotion in the person's pain-ravaged eyes, something akin to extreme surprise. Scientiacular? The throne of terror blazing in his light, turning aside every evil. A quiet chant emanates from off your side. Turning your gaze from the patient, you see Sister Argenta, having made the sign of the acolyte. Raising a prayer to the God Emperor, her melodic voice is soothing, and it still with confidence. Through the bloody foam on his lips, the prostrate man whispers, God Emperor bless you, Lord Captain. Barely exhaling the words, he takes a deep, pure breath. A moment later, the two people leaning over the patient simultaneously raise their instruments. In a colorless voice, the tech priest proclaims, registering the complete stabilization of the life form's condition. Internal cortical damage has been treated. Requesting closure of the culotte and transfer of the victim to B-class stimulants. He will live, but the stimulants won't replace that part of his brain. If we implant the sacred cortical augment in his skull, it will restore his lost ability to think and act. Lord Captain, please, your subject has a genuine need for this augmentation. This constitutes a violation of the sacred directive. The value of an individual life form is incomparably less than the value of the sacred technology required. Augmetics of the specified class are rare and are restricted to senior officers. Thus dictate the regulations of the sector Bionica. Who is this man? An expendable life form to be utilized in void battles, one of thousands. A soldier from a Voisin combat unit, and a devoted servant of the Emperor. Lord Captain, this young man has been fighting for his life, even through horrendous pain. If you allow the augmentation to be installed, his perseverance will become an example for others to emulate. My only son is serving in a void unit. I was the one who told him to go there. My poor Notek, grasped the woman from behind the Medicaid officers. How is he injured? In the last void battle, Lord Captain, where he barely survived his injuries, he has suffered a few healing attempts from charlatans on the lower decks and endured a long road to coming. However, no weapon can destroy the devotion and fortitude of a true servant of the God Emperor. What are your respective proposals? I understand that my opinion may strike you as strange, for the mere fact that this poor soul has found its way to the sect of Iconoclast might itself be regarded as a blessing. Yet hear me out. The installation of a cortical augmentation will restore the patient to health, serving as an example for the rest of us through his hero. This will inspire the people and strengthen their faith in the Lord Captain, and let them know that the Rogue Trader's mercy will not abandon them in their hour of need. The life form on the operating table is easily replaceable and does not possess any substantial functional value. Therefore, installation of the implant would be devoid of sense. Proposing replacement of lost function by means of Class B powder stimulants. The life form will have limited viability and will be gifted with an optimal termination period with partial functionality. "50 augment. We hear and obey, Lord Captain." Martinax offers you a graceful bow. "I will see to the implementation at once, and the esteemed servant of the Museion will assist me in this procedure." The Genitor Majoris' response in Benhar carries a distinct tone of displeasure. Ignoring his colleague's reaction, the vivisector begins inserting thin augmentation spikes into the patient's brain with uncanny precision. Before long, the iron plate of the cortical implant replaces the damaged bone with a resounding crunch. In the silence, you hear the soft sobs of a woman. Notek's mother is weeping helplessly, furiously wiping her eyes with her hand, but now a smile of relief lights up her face. Thank you, your ladyship. I will remember your intercession for the rest of my life, and pray for your good fortune." Sweet, time to read everything that's not in your bed. Much.
I always keep my options open.
Configure it to run corporate bodies to the disposal unit. Yeah, this is some grim shit.
I always get the job done.
Sweet, I found an arm. Not that I could use it yet, I think, but I did find an arm. Yes. sweet remote man kits. Drugs. Give me the drugs. She should get some drugs. She likes drugs. On with the plot! Let's go get my tech priest, shall we? Or... yeah, I think we probably want to get the tech priest. Why did that... right, that was weird. My soundboard's been all kinds of funny, so if at any point my audio goes out, somebody say words at me in the chat. And if you're watching the VOD, well, I'm sorry. You can't hear this anyway. Lord Cat, Astropathic Choir Master Zachary Weiss is asking to speak to you via a private channel. Greetings, Your Ladyship. I can report that the choir is listening tirelessly to the Immaterium in the hopes of picking up voices from the dynasties, ships, or worlds. However, we have heard something horrifying instead. Amid the Immaterium's tumult, something is screaming. This scream is driving your choir mad. Until it stops, we have no hope of contacting any of the dynasty's worlds. It is coming from the Ryket System's astropathic station. What is the nature of this scream? We do not know, Your Ladyship, but it has brought the Immaterium to a boil. It has always been a violent, roaring ocean, but still doomed to any who would consider stepping into its waters. Now, however, it has become a cradle of madness, where expelled images fuse together, twisting and cackling before crashing into the minds of all who perceive it. A mighty warp storm the likes of which I cannot recall rages in the Imperium, and it fills me with terror. If the screen stops, will we be able to contact someone? I humbly hope so, Your Ladyship. Perhaps we will manage to send a call for aid to the Von Valancius worlds, or one of the dynasty's allies. We are going to pay a visit to that station. Thank you, Your Ladyship. The astropathic station is dead ahead of the void ship. It is motionless. There is lifeless silence across its Vox frequencies. Its lights are out. Even those who have no warp sensitivity can feel the presence of death. It is here, lurking in the shadows. All of this makes reading the reports of the ship's astropaths who claim who claimed to be hearing an incessant ghostly howl emanating from the station, all the more disturbing. Contact the station by Vox. The station is not responding. Perhaps there is no one left who could respond. Deploy a scouting team. The enforcers offered their prayers and proceed to enter the uncanny station. What they saw inside was monstrous. Astropaths upon their thrones, not quite here, not quite now, smudged, as it were, across time. Servants reliving their horrible deaths again and again, only to be reborn out of ashes and blood into more agony a moment later. The warp manifested itself here, twisting the very nature of existence. The main hall was covered in a crust of psychic ice. A green-robed, blind old man sat motionless upon a tall throne. He was quite literally embedded in the ice, yet he was still alive and screaming. Send Zachary Weiss to the station with his squad of bodyguards. Choirmaster Weiss boarded the station in person and proceeded to the choir's hall. He stood silently for hours in front of a man frozen in ice and held a telepathic conversation with him. Then Master Weiss offered a prayer to the God Emperor, and the unfortunate man passed away. Upon returning to the ship, Weiss reverently presented the Lord Captain with a grim trophy, the late choirmaster's amulet taken from his frozen body after his death. This is the important thing that helps me not blow myself up when I use psychic powers. The psychic shriek carrying across the Immaterium has been silenced, but this has brought the crew no relief. A chilling realization came to the astropaths when they discovered that the cry was masking a different sound, one even more terrifying and surreal. It was the melody of a cataclysm born from a warp storm of titanic power, so intense that the entire expanse must be able to hear it. It muffles astropathic messages and crawls into psykers' minds, evoking everywhere the same image, a dark, gaping, beastly mouth cleaving the universe in two. Now that the mad choirmaster has finally stopped screaming, the song of the Immaterium has reached the rogue trader's void ship too. The Cicatrix Maledictum. This is 40k backstory stuff, but there was this huge rift basically split the whole Imperium in half for a minute. It did not go well for anyone involved, as you might imagine. In fact, I think even the Chaos Marines and stuff a bunch of their stuff got fucked up, and I think part of the Thousand Throne Sons are stranded in a warp now, and all kinds of bad stuff happened to everyone. I don't really know all the details because I haven't been following the meta in years, but order the station to be explored. A brief and chilling chronicle of the station's doom was found in the scribe's records. A warp disturbance of monstrous proportions wiped out half the choir at once, turning the astropaths into living portals through which torrents of the Immaterium's energies poured out. Those who lasted longer bellowed and howled about a black rift that had split the universe into before and after, and a darkness that would devour the Astronomica's light. Well, obviously I'm going to put them out of their misery. Void torpedoes shattered the fragile station. One could only hope that the unfortunate souls captured by the warp have perished along with their home. Alright. Inventory. I don't really need bonus intelligence, but she will benefit more from Denial of Nightmares than I will. What is that? No, that's not what I meant to do. Discharge. Chains hit 4 targets. Yeah, it just does that. Does a zap. Oh, okay. I might save that though. I don't understand what that's for or why I would want it. As the ship makes its way through the star system, a strange fatigue falls over you. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the quill you have been using to draw up yet another order falls from your hand. Ooh, haunted. You raise your head with a start. Someone else is here, in your study. You stand up and stare upon dozens of corpses surrounding you. Among their number, you recognize the disfigured and bloody faces of those who died on the ship's bridge, and those you met in your previous life. How is this possible? Where are the enforcers posted to stand guard? It matters not. You are alone against a horde of heretics, risen from the darkness to take your lives. As if of its own accord, the shard lying on the edge of the desk, the sole remnant of Quinrad Waker's weapon slips into your hand. The metal is seared cold. The dead sway from side to side, closing in around you in a nightmarishly slow advance. Stop! I did not wish for any of you to die. The dead remain deaf to your words, thinking of the closer to the inevitability of death itself. You belatedly realize that their trembling hand is metal sharp, and its razor-sharp edge cuts in. Your terrible bright light floats everything around you. You find yourself surrounded by glowing pieces, your body shivering in convulsions. Your hands are full of the pitiful shards and majestic beneath you. A skillfully crafted sword of strange, unnerving proportions, a curved design, and an unusual hilt adorned with the image of a closed eye. The eye opens wide, revealing a gaze so ancient and dark that it steals your breath away. You have felt this gaze before, there, on the bridge, and the voice that appears in your mind only confirms your guess. The tapestry is woven. The path is chosen. Accept your fate, champion. Never. Your body refuses to obey your mind. The handle feels as if it has become one with your hands, and the gaze of the demonic eye sets your very soul ablaze. Resisting your face is futile. You scream as you feel your soul burn away with ash. You awaken from a vision kneeling next to your desk, clothes drenched in sweat and with a sour taste on your tongue. Your head is ringing, and you struggle to recall those faces and the image of the sword in your hands. Only the deep cut on your palm and the bloody shard lying on the floor remind you of what just transpired. You would rather die than touch that thing again, so you reach a shaking hand for your vox and call for a servitor. Now you just have to wait for the mindless automaton to arrive, pick up the cursed artifact, and head for the nearest airlock to be claimed by the void. Hooray. We did a not heresy. This has been a long talk. Alright, now we'll go to the planet, please. Okay? No more cursed chaos visions for a minute, maybe? Is this a mistake, though? Because we'll get Pascal on the planet. And then Heinrich. Sorry, I'm probably spoiling things for new folks, but screw it. The starport greets you with the din of ordnance, and the smell of explosives tickles your nostrils. It is difficult to tell through the smoke who is firing at who. Among the cracked rockcrete and bent plasteel, you notice a man worn in his uniform. He stares at the gleaming gold of your shuttle in surprise. Did the governor... Excuse me. Did the governor... Did the governor send his personal guards? No matter. What are you standing there for, Meat? Are you waiting for the rebels to blast your baka again for good measure? The skies over the capital are blocked by enemy fire. All aerial traffic has been halted. What pest gave you clearance to deploy? Ha! By all the saints, I am Sergeant Malgar, and you lot report to me now. Straighten yourselves out and drag your arses after me. I'll map out a defense center for you. By the end of his tirade, the sergeant's voice grows quieter as his eyes focus on your expensive gear. By the holy thrones, what is this place? You're in a rough spot, old man. Go easy on me. I am the rogue trader von Valencius. Give me a status report this instant. With a mixture of awe and terror, he snaps to attention, raises his freshly cut chin like an exemplary soldier, and barks. My mistake, man. At once. The starport is under the control of the governor's wardens. Perimeter commander is Sergeant. A frag grenade explosion cuts off the rest of the sergeant's words. Shrapnel flies everywhere with a piercing screech. One of the soldiers falls to the ground, clutching the remains of his forearm that is now adorned with crimson tatters. Blood is pouring out of the stump, and the soldier's agony is short-lived. The sergeant curses and hastily says an army prayer for the dead. With a rasping cough, the sergeant turns back to you. Pardon me, Mum. Sergeant Lassie Malgar reporting. My unit is holding the starport on the governor's orders. How may I serve? What is going on here? Unrest, Mum. Armed rebellions in both the capital and the provinces. First the lower levels sparked, and then it went up to the spires. They hit the Vox hubs, the arsenals, the mag train stations. My unit was here when it all went to the grosses. The tech priest linked to the satellites reported sightings of strange void ships in the system. They were orbiting the star until one of them set course for landing on Reichhead Majoris. The governor took precautionary measures and ordered to increase security at the key facilities. Everyone knows that whenever something's not right, you better double the warden details. The alarm was raised and we were sent to secure the starport. It's the only reason we were able to hold it. There is fighting in the capital, but we're holding strong, giving no quarter to the rebels. The Emperor protects. Who are you, anyway? Sergeant Lassie Malgard, 11th generation loyal soldier of House Winterskin, awarded 3 commendations for faultless service. Ever since the olden days, his lordship, the rogue trader, has recruited soldiers and shipwrights on Reichhead Majoris, so there is no greater honor for a Reichhedian than serving his lordship with diligence. What caused this rebellion? Ill thoughts, Mom. We've fallen on hard times. The ground keeps shaking, things keep exploding. The people are scared. They've forgotten all about their duty. And that's when those, Emperor, forgive me, preachers came. They started riling everyone up. Sure enough, we shot a few, but they just kept coming, more and more of them. I cannot leave you and your people without aid. Reinforcements will be sent from my ship. I live to serve. We won't fail, we won't forget. We'll be praying to the Emperor for you, your ladyship. Do you happen to know if a member of the Inquisition has come here? At the word Inquisition, the sergeant's face fills with awe. I don't know, ma'am. There's definitely haven't been any visitors like that on my watch. You might have to inquire at the headquarters, your ladyship. Some dirty dog nearly shut down my shuttle. Affirmative, your ladyship, mum. It's all those damned rebels. Those maggots somehow got their hands on an anti-aircraft battery and it's causing our shuttles no end of trouble. That thing really packs a punch. You're lucky they missed you. I've seen them fry 2 shuttles carrying reinforcements. No soul survived. I am going to see the governor. If I may report, Mum, as long as the rebels keep shooting their damn anti-aircraft battery, there is absolutely no way to shuttle you to the governor. It would have to be on foot, and the streets are dangerous. I have no one to send with you as an escort. I assigned all available troops to accompany the esteemed tech priest to the governor. I will voxcast orders to them to wait for you. And I'll inform headquarters. They better send out a convoy to meet you halfway. Meanwhile, we will follow the governor's orders and hold the line here. You're a good soldier, but you've got a lot of blood on your hands, both yours and others. You know, the same hand that salutes now might falter in darkness. Rank and epaulets won't save you from bitterness. Pardon me, my lady, but I can't get my head around these fancy words you're saying. I've seen plenty of blood, but trust me, I'll fight to my last drop. If only Sergeant Davian of Tertian was here. He may have completely lost his marbles, but if I'd let him accompany you, you could have walked all the way to the governor's palace without any harm befalling you. Davian of Tertian? Who is that? One of ours, a veteran. No idea how he wound up here. The man's from Adama Prime, the other end of the galaxy. Silent chap, crazy eyes. You should see him slay enemies of humanity. There's none like him. When it started, he went missing in the streets somewhere. Worse news for the rebels, though. He's an absolute beast in close quarters combat. This is a hook for a very tiny piece of free DLC crossing over with, I think it's Darktide, one of the shooters, which I haven't played, but you get a shovel, a very weirdly animated shovel as a weapon. Anyway, Is the path ahead dangerous? What exactly awaits me there? Nothing good. Those bastards will shoot anyone walking the streets. Our own troops were ordered to fire without warning. You better move with caution, Mum. On top of everything else, we mined the streets when we were pulling out. His remark about mines lodges itself in your memory. More than anything, you will need to watch the ground and not your surroundings. You'd rather risk a shot from a rebel or a jittery soldier than experience a few handfuls of lethal frag shrapnel resting on top of some 300 grams of explosive physaline. What tech priest? A very important person from the Adeptus Mechanicus arrived on the last shuttle before they locked down the sky. He kept on asking whether anyone by the name of Amarant or Amarnat or something like that had recently arrived. Barely answered any of our questions, though. Said he was under no obligation to tell us anything. He demanded to speak to the governor personally, so I had to send a quarter of my troops with him to keep trouble at bay. You're a good soldier, Malgar. I'll see that your heroism is noted. I live to serve. Another explosion interrupts the sergeant's words. With a sigh of relief, he turns to his soldiers and spits out a booming series of commands. Lord, that man talked a lot for a guy who doesn't sound like he wanted to talk.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Did you see that? They almost knocked us out of the air. Some bumbling idiot's going to regret that when he's dragged before the Lord Captain for questioning and trial.
I do not think the rogue trader should take a personal interest in a common crackpot. Summary execution will be sufficient.
Here.
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
I'll turn you into corpse starch.
Indeed. I will do my duty. It will be done.
Let's make it quick.
One fewer target.
Hold on.
Oh, my ears are ringing.
Out of my way.
There is movement in the Empyrean. Be gone! Was that you? Or...
Let's make some opportunities. I'll see to it.
Here we go. Let's get to it. Stay vigilant.
I've suffered worse.
Let's get to it. Let's make it quick.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. Faith without deeds is worthless.
High momentum.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ways. Victory is imminent. It will be done.
Hold on.
Breathe.
Oh my word.
Abelard.
But of course. Will do. Anything else?
My faith strengthens me.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart! Each stroke is a prayer.
Indeed.
Here we go. Let's get to it.
I know what is to come. make it happen. Who, if not me? I'll make it happen.
Weapon at the ready.
From the ashes, I will rise. Injuries will not slow me. I'll do it.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time.
I will do. I took care of this one. At your beck and call. Let's get to it.
What are you doing? What the shit?
Let's make it quick.
This kid's bullshit or something.
They who discern the future own the battlefield. None will stand against me. Farewell.
I am ready for whatever comes. Now, enemy down.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. As the Emperor commands, I act.
It will be done. Victory is imminent. Hold on.
What the fuck was that?
Will do.
Be a short stream today between the bugs and the
I don't need luck. I have strategy. Your end was inevitable. Fate and fortune favor the bold.
My neckband speakers would work better than headphones for this. She is hella weird. Features. Let's see, did I ever pick up my... Yes, I picked up my dual weapon combat. Keep the Louis gun in the main hand, but I have for pistols. Hold a second. Dodge penalty. Let's do us a quick save.
Let us not dawdle.
Early save off especially shit happening like this.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
Yeah, we'll loot Winter's Tale's crap.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
The young, shaggy-haired soldier is still pale. Nonetheless, as you approach, he holsters his pistol, the hallmark of good discipline. He gives you a somewhat frightened but genuine smile. Thank you, my lady. You arrived in the nick of time. I don't know what these babbling creeps wanted with me, but it definitely wasn't anything good. Who are you? Lucky Jasper, the governor's aide and personal Vox operator. I was dispatched to the starboard on special orders, the young man proclaims, dressed desperately trying to tame his tousled hair. Are you unharmed, soldier? And what exactly were you doing here on your own? All thanks to you, my lady. Those blind lunatics are all over the city right now. These rebels, damn them to the void, go around maiming everyone they get their hands on and scorching out their eyes. Then they leave the poor souls driven mad by the pain to wander the streets babbling nonsense. The command doesn't want to talk about it, but I've heard whispers that it's not just some nonsense. It's heresy, actual heresy. Because listening to it scrambles your brain. Made one patrolling freeze in his tracks while the blind mob got hold of him and carried him off his post off to who knows where. Following Governor Medina's special instructions, namely... Oh, right, it's a secret assignment. I can't talk about it. I am a rogue trader. Why don't I simply order you to tell me everything? It is well within my rights. A rogue trader? Oh, so you must be from House von Valencia's ship. The Starport's Augur surveillance statement reported that it had detected your ship entering the system. Then you heaved to, sent a shuttle to another unidentified ship, a very strange one at that, and then the ship departed. Jasper pauses for a second, then mumbles. But, the Augur surveillance station's reports are not to be disclosed to third parties. You know that already, don't you? Well, alright, if you really are a rogue trader, I'll tell you everything. So why did they send you to the starport? I'm supposed to deliver updated box codes and, how should I put it, assess the situation. The planet is a real mess at the moment. The rebels have found our way into our voxnet and are now eavesdropping. This made proper communication impossible. The hallowed electrodynamic Cenobium had sent out a distress call before it went dark. And who even knows what's happening in the system? There's been a riot on Rakati Philia, the prison planetoid. Urak 5 station is silent, although the navigators there have always been a reclusive bunch. I was hoping I'd be lucky enough to run into a pilot or captain here who could give me an update, but that's hardly a possibility right now. The rebels are blasting anything that tries to land out of the sky with their damn cannon. Awareness test succeeded. He stops talking, a little too abruptly. There is something else you're hiding from me, isn't there? More classified secrets? It's nothing classified, just personal. There's another reason why I'm here. My betrothed is missing. Raquel Vicari, the esteemed Yvain Winterscale's personal pilot. When the riot reports came from Rakati Philia, Lord Yvain headed there personally. Then this rebellion started down here and we lost communication. No one knows how they're doing up there. You know what I'm afraid of? That they'll come back and those rebel scumbags will shoot them out of the sky. I wanted to find a place that's high up, set up a voxcaster there and send them a transmission. The sky is closed off, don't try to land. But I didn't make it in time. Those blind dogs chased after me, and as I was running, I tripped and broke the caster. I worry for her. She's an excellent pilot, but I still worry. Abelard shakes his head disapprovingly, but his eyes are understanding. That is why all members of a Void Ship clan share the same employment. No matter how devoted a servant of the Emperor is to their duty, there is always the danger that family ties might disrupt the regulations and order. I hope no harm comes to her. The Emperor protects my lady. If someone you love is in trouble right now, may he protect them too. Pardon me a moment. Why was that on? Tell me about Uruk 5. There's not much anyone could tell you about it. That station belongs to the Navis nobility themselves. Emperor knows what they do up there, or who even lives there. They scorn ordinary folk. The only person they're willing to grace with an audience is the esteemed Yvain Winterscale. That place is creepy. They say they order shuttles with servants from Reichhead Minoris on a regular basis. I guess they're too important up there to change the filters and clean the compartments themselves, huh? Except I've never met anyone who has served there. It's like no one ever comes back. Who is Yvain Winterscale? The esteemed and honorable scion of blessed rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, master of the Reichhead system. At the behest of his illustrious father, or grandfather, or uncle, well, his illustrious relative, Lord Yvain took up residence on Reichhead Minoris. You know what I think? I find it curious that blessed Caligos didn't make him the ruler of our world. Lord Yvain is its blood, but it's the governor who rules us. And why do you think he sent him here? I think he's been exiled. Do you think the governor can handle the rebellion? Well, obviously, I'm not some pessimist to say otherwise. Won't tell anyone. You really won't? Well, then if you ask me, things are pretty rotten. These rebels are strange. We would have easily quelled a normal riot. We're not some commoner, we're Mercadians, the naval elite of House Winterscale. But these people, they're vicious. They know no fear. And their attacks, they're so precise. It's like they know what's going to happen ahead of time. The command executed 7 officers on suspicion of espionage. It's not about spying. They say the leader of the rebels is some two-faced Aurora who can see into the future. Now she is the real danger. She can see into the future, is that right? We'll see about that. She's up against the wrong psyker. My breezy whispers may be vague, but they've not failed me once. I can tell you without asking my ethereal friends that her future doesn't look too bright now that the Lord Captain is involved. I'm looking for an interrogator of the Inquisition who may have arrived on this planet. Have you heard of anyone matching that description? I have, but I don't know where he is now. I'm sorry, but I don't like discussing the affairs of the Inquisition. I have no more questions. It was my pleasure to be of service to you, my lady. It's been nice to chat to someone normal. He glances warily at the body of a nearby blinded lunatic. I must take my leave. You're right. We shouldn't stay here or we might run into rebels. I'll go find a safe place to watch the sky for me landing shuttles. May the Emperor protect you, my lady. Boy, howdy, that man was chatty for a dude in the middle of the battlefield.
Keep your wits about you. You will beg for mercy, but I will grant none.
Show them no mercy!
It's not nice.
I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak. You will enter the Emperor's judgment. I'll do it. Guided by faith! Each strike is a prayer.
Here we go.
Shields me!
Let's make it quick. Follow my lead.
Oh, thanks for the help, genius.
Hold on. Out of my way.
Fire.
Anything else?
These lost powers and their unholy works!
But of course. Was that you? Or...
Indeed. It will be done. At your beck and call.
On it. I'll see to it personally. You never stood a chance. Here's my perfect moment. I'll make it happen.
Fuck off.
I'll see to it personally.
Man, please.
It's as good as done.
Follow my lead.
I'm enraged!
On in, maggot.
As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it.
Here we go.
Failed me.
Stay vigilant.
Time to slaughter someone.
Let's get to it.
What is this foreboding? On it! Ah! Anything else?
It will be done. Just a minor setback. Indeed.
Who if not me? Your end was inevitable.
My faith straight.
I feel cold.
Rejoice in battle! Faith without deeds is worthless.
Let's get to it.
Sure.
Weapon at the ready.
Will do. Anything else? Was that you? Or...
High momentum.
A tactically sound approach. At your beck and call. For von Valancius! My place is at the fore. I will do my duty. Reduced to dust!
On it. You never stood a chance. I will lead us to fortune.
There we go. That got a little hairy.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
Level up time. Alright, ballistics go for sure. Still can't hit the broadside bar. And we get dash, concentrated fire. Dash first. And that one is universally useful. And taunting scream for sure. And let's do athletics. Got Medicaid skill already. What about you? Okay, you get talent picks. I see. Exposure, fresh targets. Combat insights. More exploits. Continuous analysis. Yeah, I learned from my first playthrough that anything that sort of gives you free obviously you want to buff the effect of the exploits, but you also want anything that's going to give you free exploits without having to use the action. Yeah. Like passive learning, continuous analysis, comprehensive analysis, all of that. passive learning is a big one, because that one's just feeding you more the whole time, which is very valuable. However, so is subtle manipulation, because that's the thing that lets you use your psych powers without getting gapped at melee. So we'll definitely go for that. Intelligence or perception? Oh, excuse me. Dash is the best. Pyromancer staff. Nice. Any of us even... I can't use that. She can't use that. Nobody can use that. So that's just... probably gonna end up in cargo. Didn't I get a shiny new sword? It wasn't really a well, it is a new sword. Yeah, you get... Oh, God damn it. I'm gonna get that new sword. The speedy boots, and so the problem with the las guns is I'm not able to get my second attack yet, because it ends up being like 3. So I think for now I might just give her like a knife or a sword in the offhand. Shock baton is nice. This is good dodge reduction. I'm sure it has more damage. Eventually, it's going to be dual pistols, but until she gets another AP, she can't really use 2 pistols effectively unless it's something like the auto pistol, which doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. So I'm not sure it's really worth it versus being able to sort of protect herself a little better in melee. I'll give her a sword for now.
That's how it's done. I always keep my options open. I always get the job done.
Sweet. Parry against melee and 5 easy.
I always have a backup plan.
Over there!
Cast your eye there. Nothing escapes my sight. Duty prevails. Never doubt me. I better myself through my service.
Change is coming. The edge is nigh.
The blinded ones are harmless. No sense in shooting them and drawing attention.
Fire on the nearest target! Don't kill the tech priest! We need to take him alive!
Find it, and let their enemies
Do it! Fall back!
Oopsie-doodle.
May knowledge be thy fate. Let the cycle be discontinued.
It's my best bud! The man dressed in crimson should not have survived an explosion like that. However, he is alive. You hear the wheezing of the respirator that covers half his face.
Not another step.
A trill comes from the folds of the partially smoldering crimson ring. It has been hard speech, the sacred language of the Adeptus Mechanicus. A bit part of the transfers into the opposite themselves voice. It sounds like thunder rolling over the past plain.
Flee, for I am death.
The gaunt hand rises to stop you, but immediately the box howls in pain and the shooting equipment starts crackling. The tech priest blazing power-ups discloses a cloud of melted sparks and his visor glows menacingly blue-green.
By the throne! What is that servant of the Omnissiah made of? Adamantine? Ah, placid!
Adler clutches his head as his ocular implant is racked by the weight of influence. I am road trader Carlyn True von Valancius. Mean you no ill.
I identify you as a member of a high stratum belonging to Rogue Trader House von Valancius. I am detecting no need for confrontation. The convoy received an order to meet you. It is no longer functional. Therefore, I propose that we continue to advance to the rendezvous point with the governor's soldiers.
Who are you?
I identify as Magus Pascal Haneman of the priesthood of Mars. By the grace of the Omnissiah, I am currently assigned to the maintenance personnel of the Station Altar Templum Calixis X-17.
How did you manage to kill off a slew of people and blow up the sacred machine without even running finger?
This was my doing.
The voices are being weird about him. They're saying garbled, conflicting things. Like they're talking about completely different people. But he's not a threat to you. Even if that's a bit hard to believe after all the fireworks.
Did I know how such an explosion?
The Omnissiah granted me a revelation. The spirit of this machine was dying, but it wished to perform a service for such was its design. I sensed this and appealed to it. I do not know how I did it. I merely followed my intuition. The understanding granted by the Omnisire was not permanent. It has left me.
Why do you wish to see the government?
I came here to carry out a sacred mission. My mentor, Archmagus Amonat, summoned me, and I hastened to answer his call. But the rabble's unrest prevented our meeting, and I was on my way to Governor Medina to determine my mentor's current location. My escort was ordered by their commander to discontinue their movement and await to be merged with your group. Then, due to their incompetence, they let themselves be killed. It was an unacceptable complication to my task.
You must be quite devoted to your mentor to be willing to wade into this mess for him.
Cessation of vital functions is an unavoidable phenomenon, and therefore an insignificant one. The doctrine of worship repudiates the fear of death. With my mentor's words, the Omniscient gives me the algorithm for redemption and triumph in service. I will be redeemed, and I will triumph.
I invite you to join my army.
Acknowledged. Predicting successful and mutually beneficial cooperation.
All right. Perception.
Let us not dawdle.
We should deal with this.
Hey. Yeah, you will get a better bolter.
Always keep your eye on the prize. Rise to the top, or get left
This
in the
ocular
dust.
implant was a worthwhile investment.
Argento, don't you find it difficult to be without your sisters? You are a soldier without a squad.
I will fight alongside my sisters again. But my present fate is not a burden to me. No matter where I go, or who I am with, I bring death to heretics. That is...
Anyone have one for agility? She does. Yeah, alright.
Is there money to be made?
Sure the machine spirits will listen to you? I bet they're real stubborn. But you're rigid. I've seen a tech priest do it twice. I once even brought a sensor to it. Of course they'll just alert profane violation of the algorithm. Splat. Jesus.
I always keep my options open.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
I'll make an example out of you!
Crush them!
so spicy?
Cover me!
Influence is growing stronger.
Of the Emperor will be undone! God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart!
That was a complete waste of time.
This is unacceptable.
I'll make it happen. I'll see to it. Don't let your guard down. Consider this a taste of what's to come.
Let's make it quick! Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. At your beck and call. Indeed.
Let's get to it!
I've suffered.
Hold on!
My ears are ringing.
High momentum. Activate calculated fury algorithm. The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all. Function successfully terminated.
Let's get to it!
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
I know what is to come. My whispers crave entertainment.
Goddamn, that went a lot more smoothly than the last fight. All those sweet, sweet exploits.
I always have a backup plan.
think yeah, I think I'm going to call it here for the night. Give my throat a chance to recover. And thank you for turning up. And I hope you enjoyed watching this. The VOD, of course, will be up on YouTube soon. Hopefully the bizarre blinking of my avatar is not an indication that the sound wasn't working properly. Until next time, and have a good night.